It's 3:30 at the Edge of America, and the Icebox Radio Theater is on the air. That's right, it's time once again for Live from the Icebox. That is the program that comes out to you each Sunday right about this time to say how do you do and give you some of the news and information from the Icebox Radio Theater from the Icebox of the Nation, International Falls, Minnesota. This is the show for March the 15th, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning us in. Just a moment, and yes, I want to say hello to all of our listeners that are listening on the streaming station Radio Icebox, who just officially joined us just a minute ago. So what are we going to do in this edition of the show? Well, we got all kinds of wonderful things coming. We're going to have, of course, news from the Icebox coming up in just a little bit, but just one thing to look forward to is that wonderful music. That's right. Well, it's not the most wonderful music anyway. The theme for this evening, for this afternoon, wherever you may be listening to us, the theme for this edition of Live from the Icebox, Ghost Stories. We're going to get spooky here in just a little bit, but you know, that's the way it goes. Even though it's a beautiful day, we will also have news of the Icebox, all of the metrics for the last week, I should say, as well as what's coming up this next week from the Icebox Radio Theater. But first, as always, here is a word from our sponsor.
Tired of that run-down feeling? Wishing you could regain the pep in your step you used to have? Then why not try the solution that's good for energy, confidence, and a boost in the bedroom? It's sweeping the nation. It's lycanthropy. That's right, lycanthropy. The ancient all-natural process of turning into a werewolf is now available to you. The curse from Grandpa's day has become the greatest thing for modern living since cosmetic surgery or cocaine. What was once thought as the mark of the beast, dooming you to wander the earth friendless and unloved for all eternity, is now just the ticket to help you on the dating scene.
I got stood up more times than I can count until I tried lycanthropy. Good luck outrunning me now, boys.
At work.
The boss never had any respect for me until I transformed in front of him one night and chased him through the woods. After that, not only did I get a promotion, he invited me to join the Republican Party.
Even at home.
Jim was pretty lethargic until he became a werewolf. Now our relationship is stronger than ever. And in the bedroom, he's pretty amazing if you ignore all the bites and scratches and rabies vaccinations.
Lycanthropy is a simple, medically adjacent procedure that will change your life. Just call our toll-free number and set up an appointment with one of our clinically trained lycanthropes. He or she will meet you at the forest or graveyard of your choice during the next full moon. One bite, and your new life begins.
Lycanthropy is not for women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Side effects include excess hair, excess teeth, loss of wardrobe, lost time, full moon, addiction, episodes of blind rage, night terrors, other people's night terrors, ruined manicures, ruined pedicures, and vampire feud. Do not use lycanthropy if you can't afford new shoes. Our company assumes no responsibility for the loss of pets, small children, or friends due to lycanthropy. Please use responsibly.
Lycanthropy. Isn't it time you went a little wild?
Yes, indeed. Oh, thank you so much, folks. That, of course, coming to us from our Halloween show from 2024. Dalton Johnson doing announcing duties there. So this edition of Live from the Icebox brought to you by Lycanthropy. All right, time now to take a look at all the Icebox news for this week, ending on March 15th, or beginning next week on March 15th, 2026. Our Twitter followers, we lost one. In fact, all of the socials just went down a little bit. It was 668 this week. That's down one from last week. Facebook stayed steady at 943 followers. And Instagram, again, similarly, dropped down 322. That's down one from last week. Still 67 fantastic patrons, 47 wonderful, wonderful members. Streaming radio station showed some improvement. Unique listening events, or unique listeners, I should say, 789 of them over the last 7 days. That is quite a bit up from 739 the week before. These listeners represented 75 countries. That's down from 79, and 90.8% of them just tuned in for a little bit to check things out and then moved on. Which is pretty much the same as last week when it was 89.2. And the top three countries, I shouldn't drink tea while doing this. It seems to tie up my tongue. The top three countries by listener minutes: USA, back in the silver medal spot, it is Russia, and Germany winding us up there. Podcast statistics, we're 45,113 subscribers. That's across all of our shows. And that's actually a tiny little drop, 400 or so. 45,522 were our subscriber base from before. All right, so what news is going on in the Icebox Radio Theater this week? Well, it was actually kind of a busy week, busy-ish, let's say. Writing in the morning and then some jobs in the afternoon. The big thing was I went out and did a lot of original sound effects recording for Roadkill. That is going to be our big show coming up in April. I'm thinking mid-April. And it takes place in a car. A lot of that show takes place in a car. So I decided, I know I have some car recordings, but to me, Foley and sound effects recording should be very much related to the scene. It's almost like a form of acting. So you know what? I said I'm just going to go out and I'm going to record these things because I'm lucky enough to live here in Coochiching County, Minnesota, where we have an awful lot of wide open spaces. And part of the conceit of this story entitled Roadkill is that people are kind of in the middle of nowhere, driving in the middle of nowhere. Something terrible happens. I won't tell you what it is. You just have to wait and find out. We have plenty of that. In fact, I found a spot just over maybe 10 miles to the west from where International Falls is, in which there were these county roads that were paved and top speed. You go highway speed on them, but they just kind of go. I could go around in a circle for an hour or so, and I barely saw another car. So it was absolutely perfect. And that was about 2 days driving around. We had beautiful sunny weather. Actually, we had cloudy weather at that point. And that reminds me, I will give you a peek of Skycam 1 in just a little bit. But that was most of the week, actually, was trying to record out on the road, and it was just in the car. Excuse me. In the car. Added a couple of other little Foley items, like at one point they're digging to the garbage for something to save their lives, and had to dig through the garbage a little bit, and also some live recordings at a local gas station. Did quite a bit of stuff. I very much enjoy that work, and I very much enjoy the fact that I personally have a portable recording. Shall I go ahead and say, yeah, it's the Zoom H4n Pro. If you're in the market, it's a really nice tool for recording sound effects. And we're just about done with that. And when we are done, it'll be time to start editing Roadkill. Might give it a rest for a week or so. I do have, of course, I'm editor of SPERDVAC, that's the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Radio, Drama, Variety, and Comedy. I do have a newsletter to put out by the end of this month. I probably should focus on that because I think I'm going to have to write quite a bit of it again. But I see no reason at all that Roadkill can't hit your podcast feed in the middle of April. Okay, speaking of podcast feeds, I am going to be more conscientious about adding the new shows to the archive feeds that you can find on our website at the page cleverly entitled Archives. So like The Haunted, for example, which was our Halloween show from this previous, actually it was from 2024, that has been added to the Frozen Frights feed. It's been up on the IPRT Plays feed, but now it's been added to Frozen Frights. For those folks that haven't been, I still talk to people that don't know about our website or haven't been to our website. They just discovered Frozen Frights somewhere, and I realized there's a few really good horror shows that belong up there. And so Frozen Frights was added to that just yesterday. Writing news. Hey, guess what? There is a draft of a Winter Warlock episode, which I'm not going to call it super political, but I imagine some people will view it as political because it has to do a little bit with the news of what's happening here in Minnesota over the past month. Have you been keeping up? We're kind of old news now because there's an actual legit war going on. But in January, of course, we were all over the place as people that work for, the government were doing things. I'll just leave it at that. So what could a horror story, especially a silly horror story, hosted by the Winter Warlock, do with that? Well, you'll just have to wait because I just have the draft of the script. No plans or no schedule for recording just yet, although we will record it, trust me. Probably record it before spring gets moving on too forth. But just to let you know, Winter Warlock writing is complete, at least the draft. I will go back over it a couple times after I get that magazine edited and ready to go. There was also an outline completed for Lance Manley. Oh, that was last week, actually. I'm beginning to start a few sketches for the next Rum Runner Sue. Because if you recall, that's the thing I promised going into the beginning of this year. I said we wouldn't be doing as many live shows, but I did promise some studio shows, most specifically the Warlock, Lance, and Rum Runner Sue. Right now, all I can tell you about Rum Runner Sue is I do have an idea that they are Sue and Mary have to hide a singer from the cities who is on the run from the mob, and she's not a very pleasant person. So I know it should be a whole lot of fun. I hope, and that expect that in the summer or maybe even later. Because I realize I really have to do something for Halloween. But we're not going to do a live show this Halloween, but I need to do something. We'll just have to see. And podcast-wise, this Tuesday and Thursday, the whole show from the most recent Coffee Land radio hour. Coffee Land radio hour? Or Coffee Landing? I just wrote Coffee Land, but it's Coffee Landing, of course. The Coffee Landing radio hour, the show that we did on February the 27th, all of that audio is going to be put up on the IBRT Plays feed, as well as for members and the Patreon and all the rest of it stuff. And that includes the songs. So look forward to that. We're going to try this, see if it works, or if we get like some kind of a copyright violation. Although the songs, I believe the songs that the Plucked Pear sang for this were, what do you call it? Kind of, they were public domain. Maybe one might have been a Bob Dylan song, so that might need to be cut out. We'll just have to see. But again, like most podcasts, goes out for members and patrons on Tuesday, the 17th, and then again on Thursday for everybody. This will be on the IBRT Plays feed, so look forward to that. Do want to say hello to some of our live listeners. Sheila and Tom, good friends of mine, always spend some time on Sunday afternoon saying, how do you do? And how do you do, you two? And if you are listening, quote unquote, or watching on Facebook, going to switch the camera now to give you a look at a Skycam 1, which looks pretty much like it did last week, but we had a lot of snow. We had a blizzard. It wasn't a blizzard. I think a blizzard should have like angry wind flying around, and we didn't have that on whenever the heck it was. Was it Tuesday? I forget. Maybe it was Wednesday. Anyway, we had a lot of snow. We had a spring blizzard, which for people listening in like Ken in Hawaii don't understand why you have snow in March. Well, we do, because, in fact, March can be a very, very snowy month. And as you can see at Skycam 1, we're a little bit cool. We're like 20 degrees cooler than we were last Sunday. 22 degrees at the moment. The roads are clear. Everything's good. And frankly, Dinah and I both really enjoyed the snow this time around, because what had been on the ground before that was the kind of the beginnings of the melt, which is mostly sand, and there's dog poop everywhere, and it's very brown and ugly. So getting a fresh coat of white on top of that was actually very pleasant. But if it doesn't want to snow anymore this year, that would be just fine. Okay, moving on to the feature for this edition of Live from the Icebox. Now, as I mentioned, oh goodness, banging the microphone. The theme for this week, ghost stories. And we have a couple of shows, of course, in keeping with our system, our normal way of doing things. We will play you an IBRT play, followed by a old-time radio play. And I invite you to stay tuned for that because we're stretching the definition of old time with this edition of Old Time Radio. But to lead off, I wanted to offer up what in my humble opinion is the best ghost story I ever wrote, and maybe the best ghost story we ever produced here on the Icebox Radio Theater. It is entitled The Diary, and it stars Ayla McIntosh and Linda Faith, and I do a cameo in there. But it is the kind of radio that, frankly, sometimes I just feel I should do more of. It's quiet, it's contemplative, you build suspense as much from what isn't happening as much as what's happening, and it's one of the shows that I feel I'm just personally most proud of. Goes back to February of 2010. We recorded this. It was like the third or fourth show we recorded at the new Bacchus studio, and I'm very, very proud of it. As long as we're going to get spooky on this Sunday afternoon, let's just go ahead and let you guys in on what I think is probably the best IBRT ghost story we've ever done. Well, that's my opinion. There's some good ones. I really enjoy ghost stories, is my point. So, without further ado, here is Ayla McIntosh in The Diary on Live from the Icebox.
The Diary, a ghost story. It's never easy going through the things of a loved one who has died. You always hear stories of relatives fighting over treasures or property or money, but it's never like that, not in real life. In real life, it's just painful. I'm driving north from Princeton, Minnesota to go through the things of my aunt who has died. Mavis, her name was. I was her favorite. I'd come to visit her every summer for a week or two when I was little. I told my mother it was because I hated the heat. We lived in farm country, Aunt Mavis up on the border where the lakes are cool and the breezes blow in from Canada all summer long. I told my mother that, and it was true to a point. But the real reason I wanted to visit Aunt Mavis every summer was that she was a card.
Just a sip. That's all. You're only 11.
That was Mavis giving me my first taste of wine.
That's enough, young lady. You'll be a lush if you're not careful.
First taste of wine, first taste of whiskey, movies my mother wouldn't let me see, advice on boys.
Don't show too much interest at first. Just glance over, meet his eyes for a moment, and then, if he's very cute, smile. Then turn back and ignore him.
There wasn't a question she couldn't answer, it seemed, even when I was older.
University's too big. No, that's your mother talking, dear. Look, it might seem big, but it won't be that way for long. You'll find your friends, your room, your classes. Nobody goes to the whole university at once, do they?
And she'd been right. I did love it there. That meant Mother had been wrong and Aunt Mavis had been right. I knew Aunt Mavis and Mother didn't get along. Sisters do that sometimes. I never asked Mother why, and I only asked Mavis once.
I suppose it's silly,
She'd said.
but your mother took something that belonged to me once.
Mom died 2 years ago. Surgery, infection. Dad's head is filled with lawsuits and figures and which doctors can testify on our behalf. I don't have any patience for it. So when Aunt Mavis passed...
Why don't you take care of it, hon? I'm up to my eyeballs with this.
Dad never finishes his sentences anymore. So I drive north. It's ugly this spring here. Not even really spring yet. It's just the horrible dead time as the snow melts, revealing what was underneath. The frost line is 5 feet deep this far north, so it'll be weeks before the grass really comes back and the trees leaf in and the real spring arrives. It's as if the world has given birth to itself again, and it is still fresh from the womb, covered in the fluids and the violence, awaiting its chance to be cleaned up and wrapped into a perfect little bundle. It's so easy to look past this time of spring. We all know what's coming, and that's what we focus on. We don't pay attention to the mud and the sand, the leftover death that's everywhere. We just ignore it. It's just that I can't. Not this year. I arrive at Aunt Mavis's house. It's the house she and my mother grew up in. It's big for the neighborhood, probably too big. It was never very easy to heat. Her furniture is gone, divided up amongst the relatives, the cast-offs to the Salvation Army. The only exceptions are a small kitchen table with 2 chairs and the guest room, my room, which was left intact and unchanged. This is for me. I will stay in this house as I go through her things. Next to my room is Aunt Mavis's. It still smells of the lilac lotion she always used, and I'm surprised to see 2 of her old cotton dresses hanging in the closet. They are simple, plain, the kind she wore late in life when she was, in her own words, past the point of caring. I arrive as the sun sets on that first day. The house seems to welcome me, as an old woman in a hospital bed might welcome a visitor. Aunt Mavis's papers had been left for me in cardboard boxes. The desk they were in, a prize now belonging to some cousin in Duluth, is gone. I'll work from the kitchen table. The next day, I begin. It only took me 5 minutes to find it. A black book, locking strap on the side. The gold letters on the front spelling diary had almost been worn off. I glanced at it briefly and then set it aside. I had a lot of work to do. I didn't think of the diary again until I'd worked through the morning. I was in her room and the smell of lilac perfume brought me back to it. The key was nowhere to be found. I cut the strap with kitchen shears. It gave easily, like paper. It never occurred to me that there might be something wrong in this, reading my dead aunt's diary. It had no value. It held no interest for anyone but me. I suppose the only options would have been to read it or destroy it. I can't say I thought about the decision carefully. I didn't even make a decision. I just acted. I outread the light that first day. Have you ever done that? Gotten so engrossed in something that you're reading that you lose track of time? You squint harder and harder at the page until you realize you're squinting because the light is fading, is gone. I couldn't stop reading.
April 2nd, wash day.
That was Aunt Mavis when she was 13. The diary started around then.
Mom made me work twice as long as Carol.
Carol, that was my mother.
Mother made a big deal about our fighting, like we shouldn't fight so much. Nuts, I thought, but I couldn't say it out loud. Nuts!
I wonder if that was cussing in her day.
Carol gets away with everything just because she's prettier, and she knows how to work Mother like an old plow horse. I wish I could deceive like Carol, but everything that comes into my head shows up on my face. I can't feel anything without Mother knowing. Carol's like an actress, a professional liar.
My mother, an actress? I had never thought about it before, but I began to see it. Mother always did seem so controlled, specific, and she always knew what I was thinking no matter how hard I tried to hide it. Aunt Mavis had lifted a veil for me. That night I took the diary to bed and read for hours. I didn't look at the clock when I turned out the light, but I couldn't sleep, and I rose with the sun. The next day I made progress. I worked most of the morning and then sat with the diary through the afternoon. There was a lot of Aunt Mavis in that diary, a lot of the woman I recognized. But there was a lot of new things, too. A 14-year-old girl, then a 15-year-old. Her first kiss was a boy named Elmer. He smelled like sin and motor oil, and he seemed afraid of her. She was invited to the snowball dance before Carol was that year. That was a monumental event in Aunt Mavis's life, worthy of 2 full pages in the diary.
January 23rd, the day after Snowball. I'm shaking all over. I can't think straight. I dropped the canned peaches helping Mom with dinner, then cut myself picking up the glass. I'm in a fog because of him. I saw him at the dance. Jenny Fulton said he was Mike Parker's cousin from Duluth, dragged along to Snowball because they had an extra ticket. His name was Robert, but he insisted I call him Robbie. But it wasn't like he was a little kid, Robbie. He seemed older even though he was only 17. He asked me to dance. Then we danced again. He got me punch and we talked. We danced 7 or 8 times, and by the end of that night, he was spending all the time with me. Carol came with stinky old Billy Adams, who was drunk. I could have told her he would have been. Once, I caught her staring daggers at Robbie and I, like I didn't have the right to have a good time if she couldn't. Like Cinderella was the only one entitled to a carriage.
I looked up from the book. My mother's face popped into my head. I knew that look, that dagger look. I knew it boring into my back as I left for a date or a dance. It went like that for another day. I worked in the morning, read from lunch straight through to bed. I knew I'd catch hell at work for missing more days, but it seemed important to read the diary here in this house. I didn't know why, then. Just a feeling, I suppose.
Robbie called again.
A feeling that this was the only way to really know Aunt Mavis. In the dresser in my room, I had started making a little pile. A cache of things I'd wanted for myself. There was a brooch. Not expensive, not even really pretty. Just a few red imitation rubies on what looked like a silver plate pin. But it was small and elegant, and exactly the kind of thing Aunt Mavis loved. The brooch was her in my mind, so I wanted it. The evening of the 3rd day, I went to put my watch on the table where I kept my little cache, and the brooch was gone. I didn't think anything of it. Perhaps I'd absent-mindedly slipped it into my bag already and would find it when I got home. I drew a bath and carefully slipped in, making sure my hands were dry before picking up the diary.
We went to Bemidji to Christmas shop. I wanted to go to Duluth, but Carol was the deciding vote. She looked right at me and voted Bemidji, which she hates. I knew she did it just for spite.
I read on about sibling rivalry, the indifference of parents, her ever-growing affection for Robbie. The water wasn't that warm, but I got drowsy. I made sure the diary was safe on a ledge above the tub before I closed my eyes. In the dream, I was in the lake. It was warm, warmer than I ever remembered it. And I looked back on the beach, and Aunt Mavis was there. There was a campfire, and she was standing on the far side of it. And as I watched, Aunt Mavis walked right through the fire towards me. I was laying down in the shallows, just a few inches of water, but I couldn't move. My legs felt heavy and soft. I kept breathing harder and harder, but it wasn't enough. And she was walking towards me, and I began to realize there was something wrong with her face. She was dressed just as I remembered her. The old cotton dress, a red one with white flowers. But her face was shriveled and wrinkled, and as she got closer, I began to see that was just a reflection of Aunt Mavis. Her face was like an apple, dried in the sun, and her hands were like claws, with fingertips were purple and the nails were yellow and long and sharp. I woke just in time to stop the diary from falling into the tub. I was sure I'd set it back on the ledge, sure I had. But when I woke up, it was barely teetering there, hovering over the water. I carefully dried my hands and picked up the diary with tremendous care, and I was just going to put it out of harm's way on the chair near the tub when I heard it. And I froze, and I felt the goose flesh climbing slowly from my feet to my throat, and then I picked the book out of the water, but it was soaked. I couldn't catch my breath, just like in the dream. Something had knocked the diary out of my hand. Something had wanted it ruined. Something was in the house with me. I knew that as long as the humidity stayed low, it would be an easy thing to dry the pages. I just had to be patient, that was the key. But I kept thinking of ways to do it quicker. I even turned on the oven once before I realized what I was doing and shut it off. I didn't want to have any more dreams of Aunt Mavis. I didn't want to see her diary burned. It grew late, past midnight. I must have dropped off on the couch, but rather than dreams, I fell into a great blackness, like I was dreaming without pictures. Instead, I dreamed in sounds. I heard things.
Fire, fire, burning bright.
I heard her voice.
Fire, fire, burning bright.
And I realized that in this dream, it was as if I were blindfolded, and Aunt Mavis was in the room with me. I could hear her, and of course smell her lilac perfume.
Fire, fire, burning bright. Flames aplenty. What a sight.
What do you want me to do?
Burn.
I don't understand.
Burn.
Aunt Mavis? I jolted awake when I heard it and ran to the kitchen. I'd forgotten the pot I put on for pasta. It had boiled dry. It was ruined. I stood in the kitchen a very long time, shaking, listening. There was nothing to hear. The diary dried out eventually, but I didn't go near it for another day. I busied myself out of doors with the garage and the garden shed, even though the seasons had turned back to winter for a day, sending my gloveless hands into fits of frigid shaking. But I had a hard time being in the house. I even went out one evening to the movies and sat alone in a half-empty theater staring at a comedy that I didn't want to see. When I was in the house, I could feel the diary from the front room. It sat on the table in the sunlight, tissue between the leaves. My sleep was haunted by more dreams. Always there was fire, and though I never saw her in the dreams, Aunt Mavis was like a presence there. I felt her nearby. I could hear her, smell her, but it was as if she refused to speak to me. I always woke with a headache, and I usually couldn't go back to sleep. The 6th night I was there, I couldn't sleep at all, so I came out to the front room. The diary was completely dry by then. The pages were still bloated and wrinkled, but it was possible to turn them. I touched it, and I opened it to a place near the back, not far from where I'd been reading when it fell into the tub.
Robbie telephoned.
17-year-old Aunt Mavis, in love.
We talked for almost an hour, and Carol and I had a huge fight. She claimed she was expecting a call, then she claimed she needed to make a call, then I don't know what. All I know is that she doesn't like me with Robbie. She hates me with Robbie.
3 days later,
Robbie's coming to visit. I'm so excited.
a week.
Mom insisted we take Carol to the movies with us. I was furious, but I couldn't show it in front of Robbie. Disaster. I hate her. I'll get her back for this.
Another week.
It's me he loves. I know it. No matter what she says, she's just a liar.
And another.
I came home and Carol was on the phone, giggling and cooing. I knew who it was. I just had to pick up the extension to be sure.
And on and on and on. Aunt Mavis tried to kill herself, but never got past the point of collecting sleeping pills. My grandmother found them and punished her by sending her to a psychiatrist. Carol, my mother, rode back and forth with Robbie for another 6 months and then went off to college. They broke up sometime thereafter. Of course, I didn't know for sure that my mother had stolen Robbie out of spite, but that's what Aunt Mavis believed. There was another year's worth of entries in the diary, each one more bitter and angry than the last, until finally, a full year after my mother had left for college, the news came that she had met my father and was going to be married. On the day it happened, Aunt Mavis wrote this.
My sister doesn't deserve happiness. My sister is a thief. She had everything, but she always wanted more. She's always wanted whatever I had. Well, I think I know what to do. I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to be the perfect sister. I'll be at her side as a bridesmaid. I'll be the perfect little aunt to her children. Because sooner or later, my sister is going to need me. She's going to be in poor health or in marriage trouble or something, and because I've always been so good to her, she'll turn to me for help. And at that moment, I will remind her about Robbie, and I will turn my back and I will leave her to rot in whatever hell she's living in.
As I read that, a chill ran over me. I remembered a day when my mother was in the hospital and Aunt Mavis was supposed to come to visit. When I arrived, my mother was crying. I asked what was wrong, but she said nothing. My mother died a month after that day, in excruciating pain, in a care center that was very likely ignoring her. Aunt Mavis had had her revenge. I closed the diary. I felt mad.
Burn it.
Burn it? No, I wouldn't. My mother may have done a horrible thing, but she was just a girl. She was 17. Mavis was in her 70s when my mother died. I stood up and looked around the house. I spoke out loud directly to her. I'm not burning it, I said. I'm not covering your sin. I'm going to show this to Dad and to my cousins and to anyone else I feel like showing it to. Do you hear me? Aunt Mavis, do you hear me? And with that, the lights went out. The fuse box was in the basement. I didn't know where the flashlights were. I remembered some candles in a drawer in the kitchen. I opened the door to the basement and walked through. Aunt Mavis never used her basement much. It was just a big empty room, dirt floor, the old oil furnace in the corner. The candle threw poor light on the stairs. I felt the cold seep into me with every step. The ground had not yet thawed outside, so I was literally descending into a room with walls of ice. At the bottom of the stairs, I looked around, trying to find the fuse box by feeble light, but the candle's rays only seemed to reach 5 or 6 feet in front of me. The only thing to do was follow the wall, inch by inch. I stepped down off the stairs. With every step, the darkness seemed to press in closer. The candle flickered now, even though I could feel no wind. I came to a corner and turned. Still no fuse box. I became aware of another sound, a pounding I could feel as much as hear. And I realized it was my own heartbeat in my ears. My eyes got cloudy. I couldn't even see my hand in front of me now, candle or not. This was crazy. This was insane. I didn't know this cellar. I didn't know this house. I could break my neck down here. And then I felt a gust of wind colder than any I had ever felt before. and the candle suddenly and completely went out. I froze to the spot, my heart pounding louder and louder until I was ready to scream at it for silence. Slowly, cautiously, I turned around and began to move back the way I'd come, my hand brushing against the wall as I went. The cold stayed with me. I felt it sticking in my middle like a knife. I walked hesitantly, slowly. I came to the corner and turned, and I kept walking, a little faster, my heartbeat in my ears, my breathing fast and shallow. I couldn't catch my breath. I didn't know how many steps it had been since I turned the corner, but the stairs had to be right there in front of me. With my other hand, I reached out, groping for them, reaching into the blackness, desperate now for some sign of my escape. Why couldn't I see the stairs? Why couldn't I see the light above them? Why was everything so black? So unbelievably, desperately black? And then my hand, reaching, grasping, desperate for anything to hold on to, came to rest on something made of cloth, but firm. Something heavy, something unyielding. And then my nose was filled with the scent of lilac perfume, and I realized I was touching a shoulder inside a cotton dress. I don't remember leaving the cellar. I just remember being in the living room where the diary was. And then I remember being outside in the backyard where there was an old oil drum filled with bits of wood and paper. I stared at the diary as it went up in flames, wondering if I should still tell my family, wondering if they would believe me or if it would even do any good. Deep down, I knew it wouldn't. I knew this was my secret alone. I don't know what it was that I encountered in that basement, but as I watched that diary burned, I was filled with an overwhelming sense of relief. And all in a rush, I saw everything from her side. The horrible sin, the terrible years of holding a grudge, nursing it, fanning it, keeping it alive, and then realizing, maybe not until after death, that the grudge was your only legacy. With the diary gone, I bore the memories alone. Well, not quite alone. As I turned to go back into the house, the scent of lilac perfume wafted in on the wind. Just short of the door, I reached into my pocket. And there in the pocket of the jacket I'd been wearing off and on for days, I felt the cold sensation of silver against my fingers. And I smiled and I sighed, and I brought the missing brooch out of my pocket into the rays of the cold early spring sun.
The Diary, a Ghost Story, was told by Ayla McIntosh, featuring Linda Faith as Mavis. Script and direction by Jeffrey Adams, who also engineered this production. Sound effects realized by Dave Irwin. This program copyright 2010 by the Icebox Radio Theater, which is solely responsible for its content. Visit them at www.iceboxradio.org. How about that? Very proud of that work. Thank you, Ayla. Thank you, Linda, and everyone. And you're listening to Live from the Icebox, coming to you from the Icebox Radio Theater in International Falls, Minnesota. We're going to take a little break now from the scary stuff. Whoa, a loud break. Here is Slewgrass with an original song by our own Judith Nelson.
Hamburger, Tom Brown, butter by the half pound, jelly son by the side, you sit on
For over 30 years, Lukachik Dental Office of International Falls has been committed to bringing the best dental health to our community. Dr. Gary Lukachik, Dr. Colleen Lukachik, and Dr. Christine Gilo, DDS, are here to help you keep your smile looking its best. And they're proud and happy to sponsor the Icebox Radio Theater this 4th of July. So stop by their office at 501 3rd Street or call 285-7822 to make an appointment soon. That's 285-7822. Lukachik Dental Office. Yes, this 4th of July, do enjoy having your teeth checked at Lukachik Dental Office. I like throwing in a little bit of some local advertising for the folks here in the Falls, especially my dentist, who does a wonderful job. And of course, if I haven't mentioned this episode, we are triple casting this edition of Live from the Icebox, going out on Facebook as well as the streaming radio station. Do want to apologize to those listeners. Apparently we had an interruption of the stream a half hour or so ago, so do want to apologize for that. But also here locally at 106.9 FM, very, very localized signal here in International Falls. Okay, moving on to the classic edition, or the classic play for this edition of Live from the Icebox. I'm going to stretch the definition of old-time radio just a bit. Normally, when you talk about old-time radio, you're referring to shows that were produced in the 30s, 40s, and 50s for the most part. Shows like Suspense and Lights Out, Fibber McGee and Molly, and The Jack Benny Show, and all the rest. But there was, in the 1980s, a program produced by the CBC in Canada called Nightfall. And Nightfall was produced in both Toronto and Vancouver. And of course, it's a little different situation up in Canada. Canada is a country that has a national broadcasting company that's part of the government. So they didn't do away with radio drama the same way it was done away with here, where we, of course, only had radio produced by commercial networks, mostly NBC and CBS. And neither one of those networks was really all that interested in maintaining radio past the point where it was considered profitable. Not so in countries where there was a national broadcaster, specifically Canada and England. England, actually, the BBC, I think, is still the #1 producer of radio drama in the world, and the British people are still the number one consumer of radio drama in the world. But Nightfall was a special story, a special type of program. It aired in the early 80s. The particular show we're going to listen to in just a minute aired in 1982, February 27th in 1982, and it's one of my favorites from the series. Nightfall's kind of difficult to find if you want CDs or anything like that, but it is fairly common online at archive.org and also at YouTube. It was special. It was one of the shows I consider kind of the acolyte shows. That is, those programs that kept the art form of audio drama alive between the end of the golden age, the classic age, in the very early 1960s, legitimately, though, the end of the 1950s, and, of course, the podcast revival that we're in the middle of right now. So since we are doing ghost stories, and since we are doing ghost stories about houses in the far north, this is one of my favorite episodes of Nightfall. It's entitled The Porch Light, and it takes place in a blizzard. It takes place in rural Canada, and it is, I think, one of the creepiest shows I've ever heard. I'm very proud to present it to you now. Find a dark corner, or turn on the lights if you're easily scared, because this is definitely a creepy story. So from CBC, this is Nightfall's episode from February 27th, 1982, The Porch Light.
In the dream, you are falling, lost in the listening distance, as dark locks in. Nightfall. Good evening. Tonight, and almost as usual, we'll be taking you out to a nice little place in the country. Of course, we can't promise that you'll know where you really are, even after you've arrived. The play, a first for Nightfall by Randy Brown, is called The Porch Light. The downstairs porch light on. What time is it? God, 3 o'clock in the morning. Wait a minute. I turned that light off before I came upstairs. Maybe Carol... No. She was already here in bed. I know I turned it off. How could it? Strange. Damn it. Now I won't get back to sleep until I turn that thing off. Shh. Try not to wake Carol. Where are my slippers? Dressing gown. It's cold. Feels as if the window's open. Closed tight. Must be a draft from somewhere. Ooh, look at that storm. Must have snowed 6 inches in the last few hours. What's that? Something moved under the porch light down there. Can't see for this frost. Looks like it's... Yes, it is. It's a man. Standing under the porch light. He's... My God, he's looking up here, waving. Like he wants me to come down. What the hell? What's he doing out there in this weather?
Bob? Bob?
I'm over here.
What are you doing?
There's a man under the porch light waving to me.
Oh, come back to bed.
No. Come and see this.
It's cold.
Well, put on your dressing gown.
Why don't you turn on the light?
Not yet. There's something strange. Why is he waving like that? He couldn't possibly see me. Why doesn't he knock?
Oh, maybe he knocked before and you didn't hear him.
Well, could be. Something woke me.
Look, he is there.
You thought I was dreaming?
No. What's he wearing?
Looks like a jacket or...
It's not a jacket, it's pajamas.
Pajamas? Yeah, you're right, it is. Where could he come from wearing pajamas?
Well, his car must have broken down.
Who'd drive around the country in pajamas during a blizzard?
Something funny.
Funny isn't the word for it.
No, I mean, he's standing there and seeing the pile of snow you shoveled today beside the front door? See the snow shovel sticking out?
Yeah?
See the shadow of it? Well, he's standing right beside it and he's not throwing a shadow.
Oh, Carol, I mean... Well, it's hard to see with all that snow blowing down there. But... Well, it must be a trick of the light or something. Anyway, I guess I'd better let him in before he freezes.
Look at him waving like that. How could he even know we're home, let alone at this window?
Oh, he knows we're here all right. Car's in the driveway, the porch light's on.
Why'd you leave the porch light on?
Well, I could swear Well, never mind. I'd better get down there.
You still can't see a shadow.
Yes, well, you're right. It is weird. I don't understand. Anyway, better go.
Wonder who he is.
Don't know, but we'll find out.
Wait. Bob, I'm coming with you. Bob, come into the kitchen.
Honey, he's knocking at the door. I've got to answer it.
No, wait. Come in here for a sec.
Look, Carol, the poor guy's freezing out there, and
Bob, something's wrong.
Look, he probably just needs to use the phone.
I want you to be careful.
What's the matter?
That man, I think there's something strange. Here. Take this with you in case.
A knife? Are you really so scared you want me to greet this guy with a knife in my hand?
Just in case.
Listen. Look, he's knocking. I'll be careful. It's only one guy, and he must be half frozen. I don't think I need it. Look, leave the knife on the counter.
Bob, I mean it. I don't think you should let him in unless there's somebody else here.
Somebody else? Like who, for instance? Santa Claus?
Call the police.
Honey, you're too used to Toronto. We're living in the country now. The OPP is 20 miles away. Look, trust me, will you?
I trust you. It's
him, right?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. I'll be careful. You wait here. You can see the front door. If he tries anything at all, phone the cops.
Oh, I don't like this.
Hang on, I'm coming. Hang on to your hat. I'll be right with you, my friend. Right with you. Hello, There's nobody here.
Bob?
Now, where the hell could he... Is there somebody out here?
What are you doing?
Yes, sir. All right, somebody's playing tricks. Is that it?
Where's
The guy's gone.
Where'd he go?
Search me.
Come back in here.
I'll just take a look around the side. Hey, come off it, Carol. Stop playing games. Don't turn the light off. Hey,
Oh, what's going on here? What are you doing?
Oh, thanks a lot. What'd you lock me out for? Are your idea of a joke or something?
Bob, I didn't touch it. I didn't. It slammed and locked by itself.
Sure. Okay, sure. Maybe the wind caught it, but you must have turned out the light.
I didn't, I swear.
Oh, come on, I don't believe you, Carol.
I swear to God I was standing right behind you, and the light went off, and the door slammed, and I saw the lock turn by itself.
Oh, sure, okay, whatever you say. Except that happens to be a deadbolt. You have to turn it yourself.
I didn't touch it or the porch light
That's
either.
impossible. Watch. See? It won't move by itself. And the light doesn't move by itself either.
I am not lying.
Okay, you're not lying. The thing is, where's that guy? I can't figure it. Hey, hold on a second. Where are his footprints?
Right there.
No. Those are mine. What's going on? There aren't any footprints leading away. None at all except mine. What is going on? Now, you stay here, honey. I'm going to take another look.
No, don't go out there again.
Hold the door this time. And leave the light alone.
Bob, get in here.
Look. See? I'm standing right where he was. No footprints. And look at my shadow. It's huge. We couldn't have missed it. Even from upstairs.
You're crazy going out there.
Cold. I'm freezing.
I told you not to.
I know. I heard you. This is really strange. What do we do now? Carol.
What?
Did you...
What?
Did you really not?
What?
Did you really not turn off the light or...
No.
Hey, you're shaking. Come here.
Oh, Bob, I'm scared.
Take it easy. Don't worry, all right? That's the main thing. Come on now, brighten up.
What are we going to do?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is take a real good look around.
Look around.
Come on now, open your eyes.
Bob, I can't. I want to go back to bed.
And leave me?
No, I want you with me.
Sure, we'll do that, but first we've got to. Come on now, stop shaking.
I'm freezing.
Me too. And we'll feel better once we start to move. Now, first, I want to check the living room and then the dining room. Come on now. Are you coming? Let me get the light. Yeah, that's better.
Bob, that man, who could he have been?
What could he have been is more like it.
I don't even want to think about... Where are you going?
Checking these windows. Nope, all locked. And so are the ones in the dining room. See, there's nothing to worry about. The whole house is locked up tight.
Why are you checking the windows? You don't think...
What?
Do you think he might try breaking in?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick.
Hey, Carol, relax. Just relax, okay? Everything's locked up tight. Nobody could get in. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, Bob.
Look, why don't we just go into the kitchen and get some coffee?
My neck muscles.
Tense.
Call the police, please.
Oh, for God's sake, Carolyn, tell them what? A man knocked, then disappeared. A lock turned, a switch moved. I can barely believe it myself. I can't understand it. It's like a nightmare.
Just call them.
They probably asked me if he landed in a spaceship.
Then I'll call them. What's the number?
Above the phone.
Something's wrong. There's no dial tone.
Is it plugged in?
Yes. Oh.
Take it easy. Let me. Let's see. It must be. Yeah, it is. It's dead.
What are you doing?
Checking the cord.
What are you looking for?
Oh, nothing. Disappears here. Must go down to the basement. I better go down and check.
Bob, no. You think somebody cut it?
I'm not thinking anything. Actually, the storm. The lines are probably down.
Don't go into the basement, please.
Okay.
Bob, wouldn't
what?
Well, if the telephone lines are down, then wouldn't the electricity be off, too?
Good point.
I wish I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. I wish you hadn't either.
Bob, I think I hear...
What?
Something in the basement.
Shh. Like what?
I thought...
I'll fix that. I'll lock the basement door. There. That'll do it.
I'm sorry. It was probably just me.
Maybe the furnace. I turned the thermostat up.
I hope I don't start hearing things.
Hey. Let's turn the radio on, get some music. That
was Ray Whitaker and his big band for your enjoyment at 3:11 in the morning. Well, I guess it's time for our late-night weather report. Up to the minute weather from your local station, CKQE, serving the whole Huntsville region. And as all of you who are up right now at this time of the morning know, there's a bad storm out there. But that's what January is like. I guess we just have to love it, or we go to Florida. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, the main highways are blocked at the moment because of heavy drifting, but we've been assured they'll be open by the morning. I guess all you people out there in the secondary roads better huddle down for a long wait before the plows get to you. Now, don't get out in your car, that is, if you can get out in the first place, and I don't think that's very likely. Now, police are warning everyone, stay off the roads, so you pay attention now. We're getting the worst of it, maybe as much as 1 meter. Let's see here, 1 meter. That's 39 inches of snow. Whew, that's expected to fall in the next 24 hours. Now, don't worry, the crews are out, and everything is under control. And for a more cheerful note, tonight's hockey score in the...
The police couldn't get here even if we could phone them.
Nope, and we couldn't...
We couldn't get out, is that what you...
Yes.
I wouldn't go out there with that man. Oh, why didn't we buy a house closer to town?
You know why, Carol? This one was so cheap. We thought there was something wrong with it, like it was stolen or something.
It was okay last summer.
It's all we could afford, and we couldn't have gotten anything half as good for the price in Toronto.
It was cheap even for up here.
Yeah, well, now I understand about that story.
What story?
The story the real estate agent told me.
I never heard it.
I know. I forgot all about it at the time, but...
But what?
This tonight reminded me.
Oh, God, what? Tell me.
Well, it happened 10 years ago. The guy said a couple had been killed, murdered by an intruder.
Here? Here in this
Yes.
house? Well, I never would have bought a house where... You know I never would have. That's why you
You never asked, Carol.
Don't say that to me. You might as well have lied. Bob, that's... How could
That's
you?
why we have a house at all. We couldn't have afforded anything.
Oh, no. Oh, where were they? Not...
Killed? No, not in our room. She was found here in the kitchen, and he... This is the odd part.
Stop, please. Don't tell me any more. We're selling this house, that's all I have to say, and... What's that?
Footsteps. Upstairs. From our room. Sounds like steps on a wooden floor, but... Our bedroom's carpeted.
Where are you going? Don't leave me.
Come on.
Look, our bedroom door's open.
I'm going in. We've had enough of this.
You don't know what he'll do.
If anybody's in there, come out, okay? We don't want trouble. I'm coming in.
No, Bob, please don't.
Stay here, Carol. Okay, I'm coming in. I'm coming in now. I just want to talk. Carol, there's no one in here. Carol, it's okay. Here, hold it. Calm down.
Get me out of here, please.
Okay, yeah, we're getting out of here. Come on, let's go.
Oh.
Be careful. Watch where you're going.
Oh, God, I'm
Come on. Watch your steps. Where are the damn lights? Where are they?
We've got to get help. We've got to get help.
Look at us. Don't worry. Calm down. Carol.
There's no lights. There's no lights.
Hang on to me, Carol. Hang on to me. We'll go back into the kitchen. It'll be all right. There's a chair. Sit down. You'll be all right, darling. I'll take care of you. Hang on to me, Carol. Hang on.
Oh, turn on the lights, Bob. It's so dark.
They're out, honey. The lines must be down somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
We've got candles, don't we? Do you remember where the candles are?
In the cupboard. Bob, won't somebody help us?
Of course they will. Don't you worry. Now, which cupboard?
I don't know.
Below the sink, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. Matches. Here. And There was light. Damn draft in here like a wind.
It's so cold. I'm
draft.
freezing.
It's the draft. Now it's blowing out the candle. There. Got it going now. That's better. Damn it. I can't keep the candle going. All right, Carol. I've got to get the flashlight. It's in the front hall closet.
No, don't leave
Darling,
me here.
listen, we've got to get out of here.
I'm not going outside. That man's out there. Oh, I can't.
You've got to hear me. Now, I'm going to the front hall closet to get the flashlight, and I'll bring your coat.
Oh, what if he's in there?
I'll chance it. Be right back.
Take the knife.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
On the counter.
I need a light. Where? It's not there. Oh, no.
What?
The knife. It's stuck in the wall.
Oh, how did it get there?
God knows, but leave it there. No good against that. Whatever it is up there.
Don't go back upstairs.
I'm not. He can stay up there for all I care. He can have the whole damn house if he wants. Do you hear me? You can keep the whole damn place.
Stop it.
Don't worry, Carol. We're going to be all right. I'll be right back. Damn him. I'll get him this time. Nobody. In the porch light. It's on. How can it be on and no footprints here? The door!
Bob! Is that?
Carol, open the door! Open the door! Carol, I'm locked out! Carol, my God! I gotta get in! Snow shovel! Carol, it's me. I'm coming in. The window. Where are you, Carol? I'm coming. Carol? Answer me. Are you still in the kitchen? Carol? Carol, are you in here? What's that? Where are you? That sound, jeez. Got to have some light. The knife? Oh, God. Carol. Oh, God. No. Stop it! Damn you! Stop! Haven't you done enough? Haven't you? Got to get out. Got to get help.
Back road's been snowed in now 4 days, you know, officer, and we've been driving our rigs down and plowing them out as fast as we could get to them. Like I was saying, this road's been blocked since the big storm.
When did you see the body?
Well, I was coming slow up the hill, and I saw like a stick coming out of the snow ahead. Thinking it was a tree branch, I stopped. I found him froze solid. Turns out it wasn't a branch, it was his arm sticking out.
Do you know who it is?
Not exactly, but I got an idea. Young couple bought the house about a mile back.
Well, we'll drive down and take a look. You wait here and don't touch anything. There'll be another officer along to photograph him.
Don't worry about me. I'm not going near him. God, the look of his face.
Well, this must be the place.
Nobody's been in or out. Car's still in the driveway.
Yeah. Let's go.
How do you figure that guy got out in the road in his pajamas?
Well, that's the $64 question.
I say he was killed and dropped from a car. There was blood on him. Now, you don't get that from hypothermia.
There weren't any wounds. I got a hunch we'll find our answer, if there is an answer, inside this house.
What makes you so sure?
How long you been on the force?
A year.
Over the last 9 years, we've had a lot of calls from this house. It's been empty for the last year or so, but before this, anyone who rented it would call us to report waking up to find some guy in his pajamas waving to them from the front porch.
Well, how'd they know he was there?
Well, they could see him standing under the porch light. But when they went to the door, nobody there. And footsteps and lights going on and off.
A haunted house? You're kidding me.
Well, everybody who lived here got out faster than they came in.
Here, look. The front door's open, and the window's broken.
Yeah. Looks like it was smashed with the snow shovel there.
And the porch light's on.
I got a feeling what we're gonna find. Let's go inside.
Hello? Anybody home? Snow's drifted in. There's no heat.
Take a look in here, in the kitchen.
There doesn't seem to be anyone. My God. A woman. My God, look at her.
Yeah. She looks the same as...
As what?
As 10 years ago. The newspapers are going to have a field day with this one.
But this isn't just a haunting, it's murder.
It was murder 10 years ago. We found the exact same thing. Woman here in the kitchen and the man out there even looked the same. Door open, window broken. Even the porch light was on. Oh, the newspapers played it up. We figured an intruder. But then the forensic lab got evidence from the husband's body. He killed her.
And these people?
God knows.
You have just heard The Porch Light by Randy Brown.
Yes, we have. My goodness. Sorry, folks, I kind of forgot how that one came out. Oh, well, the diary was nice, wasn't it? Because everyone kind of got together at the end, and Mavis got her diary burned, and their secret was kept, and that was just the way it was. So, anyway, that brings us to the end of this edition of Live from the Icebox, from the Icebox Radio Theater. Thank you so much for joining us. We tend to broadcast these on Sunday afternoons at about 3:30 p.m. Central Time. I want to thank John and Terry and Sheila and Tom for adding a few comments here on Facebook, and to everybody listening live. Do apologize again to the folks on the streaming station. Sounds like we had a little technical difficulty partway through. But if you'd like to catch this again, I invite you to visit the Icebox Radio Workshop YouTube channel, where we put the video version of these shows up, in about 20 minutes here. Next week, we'll have another show at about 3:30. Again, Icebox Radio News. Remember, we will have a podcast for members and patrons on Tuesday, and on Thursday for everybody on the IBRT Plays feed. And that is, of course, the entire recording from the Coffee Landing Radio Hour with the theme of peace. Look forward to that then. Thank you so much for listening. So this is, once again, Jeff saying thanks for the download and reminding you to keep listening.